Well, it's the first lovely sunny day we've had in ages, and not only is it sunny, it's actually really quite warm. So I thought, let's get out on the bike. That's what I thought. So I'm here and I'm on the bike. This is the Royal Enfield Himalayan 411 for anyone that's at all interested. But this isn't about the bike so much, although in a way it kind of is, because I'm going back to where this love of biking started, and by doing that I have to pretty much return to where I started. So I'm going back today on the most beautiful day when I could be going to Enfield or somewhere lovely like that in Essex. I've decided that today I'm going to head on back to the council estate I grew up on, take a look at my old house, maybe take a ride past my old school. It's funny, as you get older, and my God did I get older, as you get older, I think your memories, or what you think are your memories, get seriously warped. We're off to Croydon. Kicking and screaming, you're coming with me. I know you've never wanted to go to Croydon, but that's where we're going. So, off to Croydon. Right, I've just seen the first ULEZ sign, which means we're definitely not in Kansas anymore. Didn't have those when I was a kid. Fair to say, the old estate's going to look lovely on a day like today. Let's be honest, on a beautiful sunny day, everywhere looks lovely, doesn't it? Even the ropiest neighbourhoods look lovely in the sunshine. Not that my old stomping ground is ropey, it's not. It's not often you see a Porsche with an L plate on the back, is it? You don't see that too often. In fact, I bought a Porsche, a 911, 964 model 911 Porsche from this little town actually. In fact, I want to see if it's still a Porsche dealership. It's just up this road. And there was nothing really that wrong with the car, but like all older cars, you know, they have little problems here and there. The warranty had run out and it developed a bit of an oil leak. But in order to get the tiny little leak sorted, you had to drop the engine out of the car. But it was one of those things that needed doing because it was dripping oil onto the manifold. So I'd get smoke coming out from under the wheel arch, and people would often say they thought my car was on fire. It's kind of embarrassing. Anyway, it was only a £5 part. Probably no more than that, a little gasket. That's all it needed. But in order to drop the engine out of the car, it was going to cost a small fortune. And so as a result, I sold the car. And I sold it for very little money. Yeah, there's still a Porsche dealership. So I sold the car for next to nothing. I think currently that particular model of Porsche sells for, well, a good looking example, something like about £100,000. So I must say, it's not the things I bought that's made me poor, it's the things I sold at the wrong time. I think every town, village, city has a place that people refer to as the Mad Mile. I don't know if there's actually a road in the UK called the Mad Mile officially, but everywhere has. In fact, even in Canewdon we have a Mad Mile. Yeah, everyone remembers the Mad Mile from their first driving days, and we are very close to my Mad Mile growing up. This is, I think, West Wickham. So turn left here. When we go over the next roundabout, that will be officially the Mad Mile. Now, I may have been guilty of going up and down that road, maybe faster than I should have done many years ago. Yeah, okay, let's do the Mad Mile. 20. Fastest you can go is 40. I don't know if that was always the case. Probably not. I think this was probably one of those national speed limit roads back in the day. 30. You'd be lucky to even get to 40, wouldn't you? But yes, this road used to ring out with the sound of performance cars and motorbikes with very loud exhaust. This is something I find hilarious. We've got trams. I say we. They have got trams now in Croydon. Trams! I remember my mum talking about trams when she was a kid. Not that I knew my mum when she was a kid. I mean, you know what I mean. So my mum used to talk about trams. And who'd have thought that one day they'd bring trams back? The only thing is, nobody has a flipping clue how to drive around trams. I mean, I learned to drive and there was no such thing as trams. They'd already been and gone. And then all of a sudden they decided to bring trams back. But hey, let's put them on the road with all the other cars, which I guess is what trams do, right? Anyway, I'm assuming they won't give way to you per se, because they're on tracks, aren't they? But, anyway, look, I have no idea how to share the road with a tram. I just do my best to get out of the way if I can. That was a pub. It used to be called the Forestdale. It's now called the Kingsman. But that was called the Forestdale. And that was where I had my first drink in a pub, aged, I guess, 15. This is the road up to my estate. The estate in question is called Monk's Hill, or it was called Monk's Hill. Turns out I think they've changed the name of my old school, but Monk's Hill Estate, South Croydon. And I don't know how you get onto the estate now. I guess I'll try this way. The houses, some of them at least, still look the same. Some. Windows and doors have probably changed on lots of them. We used to have the Crittle windows, you know, the ones that used to ice up on the inside. Single pane, no double glazing, nothing like that. No central heating in the house when we lived in it as a kid. We did have electricity, by the way, for anyone wondering. Oh my goodness. This is my road. This is the road I grew up on. Yeah, we didn't have central heating, but you just had a gas fire in the living room. But when there were, well, a lot of us in the house, you had to try pretty hard to get any fire time. We didn't have speed bumps back then, which meant that this road was like a little racing circuit. The flats look exactly the same as I remember, and the houses look exactly the same as I remember. A lot of them now have got little porches on the front, but other than that, my goodness, they all look the same. Some, you can tell, still look, well, almost untouched. The flats, oh my God, the flats at the top of the road. Here's the flats at the top of the road. And my house is, let's have a look. My house was the one there with the white door and the little porch, although that little porch wasn't on it when I lived there. That wasn't on it. Oh my goodness. The one there, 129. That was my childhood home. The top window on the left was the smallest of the 3 bedrooms. That's all it is, 3 bedrooms. My brother Gary had that all to himself. The next 2 windows made up the front bedroom, and there were 6 kids in there. 6 of us. 3 bunk beds in that little room, and then Mum and Dad had the bedroom in the back. Downstairs you had a lounge, and a dining room, but I think Mum and Dad at some point knocked them through to be one. 2 doors down, you can see the other house there with the little porch. That's where Margarita Taylor grew up. You know, Margarita Taylor off the television and radio. Who'd have thought that she and I would both end up on radio? I don't think she thought that back then. I didn't either. There it is. My childhood home. Remember my dad mowing that lawn? Fondly. He's no longer with us. I miss him madly. And Mum. Oh, man. Yeah, good memories. Something that really has changed. We used to have one bin in a bin cupboard. Well, if you look next door at number 131, that's pretty much how the houses used to look, but with those metal crittle windows. And in that little area to the left of the front door, that's where you used to put your bin. That was the bin cupboard. And looking now at 129, where I grew up, 4 bloody wheelie bins on the front lawn. Well, you got a brown one, a blue one, and a couple of others. Wow. The little front wall is exactly as I remember. The gate's gone. One of the houses listed yet. Just up the road was my father's friend Brian, who used to come down to the house and play chess and drink scotch with my dad. Happy days. Right, let's take a look around the old estate anyway. Oh, the flats at the bottom of the road. We used to play on the grass there, and I remember there was an old man that used to live in that flat right there. He used to bang on the window with his walking stick and tell us to get off the lawn. Like I say, a lot of years have passed since I've been here. I want to see if it still looks the same as when you go back to your youth and try and remember in your head what it looked like. And did it really look like that? Well, at the moment, it kind of is. It's looking exactly as I remember it. There's that big pylon. I banged my head on that a few times. Yeah, here's the park. I don't know how much different this looks. The swings are still there at the top. I wouldn't have come this way to the shops, but this parade here used to be the shops. And it looks like all that's there now is one little convenience store. But we used to have, what was there? There was a Chinese takeaway on the end. There used to be a Londis, a greengrocer's, what else was there? A sweet shop. I think there was a hairdresser's. Could be wrong though. My nan lived around here. Moss Gardens. I wonder what her flat looks like now. I'm going to take a look. She lived in that one there, the one just ahead of me, number 13, I think it was, number 13. Right, let's go to school, shall we? Let's go to school. This was Monks Hill High School. I think it's called something Academy now. So I used to come down that green, across the road in the middle, and then to school. And this was my school. It was called Monks Hill. Well, it was called Monks Hill. 99% of the kids woke up in the morning and pretended they were ill and tried to get their day off school. But parents back then, they were tough. They wouldn't give you the day off unless they could actually see blood. If you coughed up blood, you could probably get a day off then, but otherwise your mother would say, get out of bed and get to school. Oh, yeah, let me go take a look at my junior school, if that's still there. It used to be called Gilbert Scott. One of my earliest memories from being young was my mother holding my hand and dragging me to school. And I mean dragging me to school because I literally grabbed hold of every gate post, every wire fence I could grab hold of, and I was screaming blue murder. I did not want to go to school. Yeah, the school was close to the senior school, which is here. This is my senior school, although it used to be all green, and our school uniforms were green as well. We used to wear green ties and green jumpers, and oh my god, there it is. Wow. Oh wow, there it is. Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy. That's still there. My junior school. Funny story, the bus stop opposite. I remember once coming up this road on my motorcycle, And this was back in the days when you had policemen just walking the beat. And one of them decided to hide in that particular bus stop and jumped out in front of me whilst I was riding my motorbike. Scared the absolute bejesus out of me as he jumped out. I was probably going quite quick. I was probably going too quick to slow down, if the truth be known. We never saw each other again. Anyway, that was fun. But I remember that bus stop for that reason. Don't know why I'm sitting here, for goodness sake. I'm on a motorcycle. Why am I sitting behind that car? It's not what bikers do, is it? Had a particularly nasty spill on a motorcycle on this road. Hang on, hold on. I was coming down this road again, much faster than I should have done, and a car decided to do U-turn in front of me, and as a result I ended up flying over the top of the car. Amazingly, I survived and landed on my feet the other side of the car. There used to be a big pub here on the left-hand side where there's now an Aldi. The pub was called the Good Neighbours. My brother Gary would drink in there. My dad would occasionally drink in there, but not often. But yeah, that's where the Good Neighbours used to be. What is now Aldi used to be called, I think that was a co-op. Yeah, it was. Or was it Key Markets? I think it was called Key Markets. That was a chain that used to exist a long time ago. It's funny, isn't it, the things that used to be there and aren't there anymore. And we had a Woolworths. Yeah, big old Woolworths actually up here on the left-hand side. And Woolworths was, I mean, that was great, wasn't it? I mean, people still look back fondly at Woolworths today and, oh, miss them so much. All the pick and mix people say. I never really got me sweets from Woolworths. I got those from the sweet shop on the estate. Trying to think what else was up here really, shops wise. I've never been one for shopping. I can't really remember a lot of the shops, but I think Woolworths would have been where Iceland is now. Up on the right hand side there used to be a record shop. That's where I bought my first ever vinyl record. Let's have a look, which one would have been the record shop? I'm guessing probably the kebab shop, where the kebab shop is now. That was probably about there where the record shop was, I think. And my first ever single was purchased from there by Wilton Felder, called Inherit the Wind. That was the first piece of vinyl I ever bought. And my first real girlfriend lived up here. My first proper girlfriend. Her name was Melanie. Oh my goodness, there's the dental surgery. That's still there. But yeah, I remember having a tooth out, and that was what put me off dentists forever. And rather than put a little pair of tweezers or pliers on it and give it a little twist and a pull, the dentist just put the pliers on the tooth and then just proceeded to crunch the tooth into 1,000 bits like a sherbet lemon in my mouth. Then I was told to spit out all the bits. On the left hand side there used to be a lovely hotel there, and I think there still is, but it used to be called Selsdon Park Hotel. And as a kid I spent a lot of time walking around the golf course there as a caddy. Now, if I take the first exit off this roundabout, that takes me to my brother's. Yeah, this is the posher part of town really. I think I can probably stop and grab a cup of coffee with my brother if he's there. He's probably not, to be honest with you.